Hello, good afternoon, everyone. It's 1 p.m. on Thursday, March 5th, and I call the Committee on Public Safety and Economy meeting to order. I'd like to welcome Committee Vice Chair Kiaina, Council Members Okimoto, Tupola, and Nishimoto. Okay, pursuant to Section 92-3.7 Hawaii Revised Statutes, this meeting will be conducted as a remote meeting by interactive conference technology with the following procedures in effect for the meeting. Members of the public will be allowed to provide oral testimony on all items on the agenda in person in the council chamber and remotely when each agenda item is taken up, as both English and Hawaiian are official languages of the state of Hawaii. Pursuant to Article 15, Section 4 of the Hawaii State Constitution and Section 1-13 of the Hawaii Revised Statutes, members of the public may testify in either language. For oral testimonies offered in Olelo, Hawaii, additional time as may be necessary will be allowed for the testifier to provide an English translation of their testimony. Before testifying, each person shall state the name. Each speaker may not have anyone else read their statement and is limited to a 1-minute presentation on each item. All persons who have registered to testify in person will be called upon first. When the timer goes off, please conclude your remarks promptly. Persons who have not registered will be given an opportunity to testify following the registered testifiers. Once in-person testimony is concluded, I will proceed to remote testimony. All persons who have registered to testify remotely by video conference or telephone will then be called upon. When your name is called, please monitor your screen and activate your audio feed when prompted. For persons who are testifying by telephone only, I will identify you by the last 3 digits of your phone number. When the number is called, please listen for your prompt to unmute and press *6. When I call for anyone else standing by remotely, please utilize the Zoom raise hand button to indicate your desire to speak. For those joining us by telephone only, please press *9 to indicate your desire to speak. Some friendly reminders and tips. Video conference from a quiet location if possible. If you are also watching the proceedings on Olelo, please mute your television when you're called to testify. When the time on the screen reaches 0, please conclude your remarks properly. HRS Section 92-3.7 requires all votes and remote meetings be conducted by roll call unless unanimous. Therefore, I will first call for objections. If there are any, I will call for roll call vote. Written testimonies, including the testifier's email address and phone number, will be available to the public as described on the posted agenda. As a courtesy, please turn off all cell phones during the duration of this meeting. Okay, members, I would like to take up the agenda items 1, 3, and 6 together. They all relate to acceptance of gifts for the Honolulu Police Department. Agenda item number 1, Resolution 26-28. This resolution accepts a monetary gift valued at $18,500 to the city from the deputies to fund the training scholarship, uniforms, and equipment for the Honolulu Police Department Law Enforcement Explorer Program. Agenda item number 3, Resolution 26-31. This resolution accepts a gift of travel and related expenses valued at $1,972.79 to the city from the Washington State Narcotics Investigators Association for representative of the Honolulu Police Department to attend the WSNIA 2026 Training Summit and Vendor Show in, I can't say it. You want to try this one? Someplace in Idaho from April 19th to 23, 2026. Agenda item number 6, Resolution 26-44. The resolution accept a gift valued at $11,360 to the city from the 200 Club of 120 seats for the Honolulu Police Department personnel and dignitaries to attend the 200 Club breakfast and award ceremony on May 15, 2026, and to honor the award the Honolulu Police Department's Outstanding Officer, Parent Reserve Officer, Civilian Supervisor, and Employee of the Year, and Citizenship Award for National Police Week 2026. And here from the administration is Major Robert Town. Major, if you'd like to say a few words, and I don't see Officer Jerome Pacaro. The button, the on button.
Good morning, Chair, and good morning, Vice Chair and Council members. Bobby Town, Honolulu Police Department. I'm currently the major in charge of the Community Affairs Division. The first item that we were talking about is for our Law Enforcement Explorer program. We refer to it as LEAP. This is an annual money that the deputies gives us. That program is not budgeted in our budget, so everything we operate is off of this donation. I have a breakdown if you folks are interested in it, but basically it's to provide them with shirts that identify them as LEAP for their training, their equipment. We do coordinations now with fire department, and EMS also has a LEAP program. We do joint exercises with them. Our goal is to eventually get these young students to go from LEAP to our cadet program and then into our recruit school thing. Some of the other items that we spend on this is when they graduate from the basic training, we have a little get together. We give them some plaques and pictures and everything else. But like I say, everything this program is funded through the deputies program.
Ask questions for item number 1? Okay. You want to proceed to item number 3 and maybe even 6 too?
So that's kind of at the end of our police week, which is coming up in May. The 200 Club, again, this is one of those that every year they donate this. We have an awards banquet last year, and this year it's being held at the Honolulu Country Club. And basically we have a breakfast, some speakers, and we nominate Officer of the Year, Parent of the Year, and so forth. And it's just to honor them in the end. And this pays for the venue.
Okay. Members, any questions for Major Town? Okay, item number 6, Officer Town. Thank you. Just a little briefing on agenda item number 6. Oh, you did. No, item number 3.
Which one
That's
is?
the Narcotics Investigation Association.
Yeah, that's the one where Major Pakar has to explain that one. Sorry, I don't have any information on that one.
Awesome.
Okay.
Okay. Members, any questions for Major? All right. We'll now proceed with in-person oral testimony in the council chamber on the agenda items 1, 3, and 6. Clerks, do we have any?
Chair, there are none.
I don't see anybody online also. Is there anyone online?
Chair, there are none.
Okay. Members, we are in discussion. I just wanted to say, Major Town, I'd love to see the Explorers program like expand in more of the high schools. I know you guys only currently do 4, right?
So the program is open to anybody.
Right.
Certain areas are more popular than others, but it is open to the entire island.
Awesome. Yeah, no, it's a great program. Councilmember Tupola.
Just real quick, because he said the Explorers program, you know, I do think it's kind of one of those preparatory programs where you want them to go into the law enforcement after they participate. I'll just share a quick story. There was an individual on the west side. He was part of the Explorers program in high school. He applied for HPD, didn't get in, and they told him they couldn't disclose the reason. They said he checked the box wrong. So then he applied again because he thought, okay, maybe I got to check the right box because it was like dispatcher instead of officer, whatever it was. So he's like, okay, my clerical error. He applied again. He didn't get in. And now he works at the shipyard in Pearl Harbor. He still desperately wants to be a police officer. But like, I think just like any other thing where you do like an internship or, you know, like a study abroad, like you guys should put on your thing that if people did the Explore program that they get like, I don't know, preferred look at their application. I mean, they did the Explorer program. Like they want to be an officer. And so he was very frustrated. He said that he still to this day wants to be an officer. He doesn't understand why. He reached out to people. He's never had one criminal arrest. He has no use of drugs. Like, so I think what I'm trying to say is like, you know, I know you guys like the program and that be mindful of these guys because they're growing up and we're over here with short officers. These are the same guys that we need their help. They live here in Hawaii. They want to work in the police department. So put a box on the application that said, did you participate in the Explorer program? Like, yes, I did. Like, let them say yes because, you know.
I like that idea. And because all of these programs fall under me, I'm kind of, you know, it's special to me. The Explorers, then to the cadets, and then on to the recruits. So I will mention that to our HR division.
Oh, that'd be so great.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you,
It's awesome. I mean, I went to the Christmas party, and a majority of the kids that serve on the weekend are, their kids, their mom and dad are police officers. So, I love to see more kids get involved, and knowing that after high school they can go into a cadet program that will pay them 70,000. Imagine
Yes.
you're in high school getting paid 70,000 a year. So anyway, that's just my take on it. So if
We
there's
appreciate
kids
all your
watching,
support.
yeah, thank you. If there's kids watching, please, you might want to consider becoming an explorer, serve your community on the weekend, and then become a cadet so that we can have amazing police officers when you turn 21.
Thank you.
Thank you, Major. Items, let's see. The chair recommends that Resolution 26-28 be reported out for adoption. On item number 1, Resolution 2628. Any discussion? Any objections? Any reservations? Hearing none, so ordered. Okay. Moving on to item number 3, Resolution 2631, recommendation. The chair recommends that Resolution 2631 be reported out for adoption. Any discussion? Any objections? Any reservations? Hearing none, so ordered. Okay. The chair then recommends that Resolution 2644 be reported out for adoption. Any discussion? Any objections? Any reservations? Hearing none, so ordered. Thank you. All right, members, I would like to take up agenda items 2, 4 together as they both relate to accepting gifts for the Honolulu Police Department. Agenda item number 2, Resolution 2630, Fire Department, got it. Agenda item number 2, Resolution 2630. This resolution accepts a gift of one passenger van valued at $60,000 to the city from the Kevin Wojcik Explorers of Life Association Incorporated and the HFD Explorers for the Honolulu Fire Department to further its outreach to the community through education, fire safety, and recruitment. Members, we have posted to the agenda proposed CD1 submitted by myself. For your information, a summary of the amendments is listed on the agenda. Agenda item number 4, Resolution 26-35. This resolution accepts a monetary gift valued at $17,300 to the city from the Honolulu Firefighters Foundation for various Honolulu Fire Department events. And here from Honolulu Fire Department, Assistant Chief Reed Yoshida.
Good afternoon, Chair Tulba, Vice Chair Kiaina, and committee members. Reed Yoshida, Assistant Chief of the Support Services Division. The HFD supports Resolution 26-30 and sends our sincere appreciation to the Kevin Wojcik Explorers for Life Association and the HFD Explorers Program. Just a little bit on the Kevin Wojcik Explorers for Life Association I wanted to share is that this association came into fruition because their son Kevin perished line of duty death back in June 30th, 2013. And he was battling a wildfire in Arizona. So he perished along with 18 members of the Granite Mountain Hotshots. So as a way to honor and carry on Kevin's legacy, they started this foundation to enhance programs for explorers and cadets that want to be serving a fire service career. And then a little bit on our HFD Explorers program, which is also a nonprofit. They're rooted in the Hawaiian culture, which is very important to the Honolulu Fire Department. They offer this to youth aged 14 to 21. We're continuously looking on ways to enhance it and draw attention to it and get recruitment. And so we focus on all the aspects of firefighting, emergency response, and life safety skills. We've been fortunate to have people that went to the Explorers program actually become firefighters. And a lot of them actually now are involved with helping to participate with these kids and keep it moving forward.
You guys got a box that you can check, huh?
No, we don't. But we're always looking at ways we can keep our recruitment up and keep the interest up.
Awesome. Members, any questions for the testifier? All right. Okay. We'll now proceed with in-person oral testimony in the council chamber on agenda items 2 and 4. Clerks, do we have any in-person testifiers on these items?
Chair, there are none.
And it looks like we have no one online either, right?
Yes.
Okay. Members, we are in discussion. All right. Okay. The chair recommends that Resolution 2630 be amended to a hand-carried CD1 identified as OCS 2026-0118 227 2026 at 2:04 p.m. Any discussions? Any objections? Any reservations? Hearing none, the resolution is amended to a CD1. The chair then recommends that Resolution 2630, CD1 be reported out for adoption. Any discussions? Objections? Reservations? Hearing none, so ordered. Okay. The chair recommends that Resolution 26-35 be reported out for adoption. Any discussion? Any objections? Reservations? Hearing none, so ordered. Thank you. Okay, members, I'd like to take up agenda items 5, 7, and 8 all together as they all relate to acceptance of gifts for the Department of Enterprise Services. Agenda item number 5, Resolution 2641. This resolution accepts a gift of registration and travel expenses valued at $3,500 to the city from the Honolulu Zoological Society for a staff member of the Honolulu Zoo to participate in the Association of Zoos and Aquarium Species Survival Plan program at Lubang Bajo Island in Indonesia from April 3/15, 2026. If you need a partner, let me know. Agenda item number 7, Resolution 2648. This resolution accepts the gift of pre-owned classic Mini Express 48-volt trackless train valued at $8,300 to the city from the Honolulu Zoological Society for the Honolulu Zoo. And agenda item number 8, Resolution 2649. This resolution accepts the gift of the installation of pumps, filters, and UV water sterilization system for the Gyrel exhibits pool at the Honolulu Zoo, valued at $52,000 to the city from the Honolulu Zoological Society. And here to explain all of the agenda items is Director Dita Holyfield.
Good afternoon, Chair. Thank you so much. Dita Holyfield, Director of Enterprise Services. I'm excited to be here today to accept all of these gifts. I will be traveling, as we've been talking about, to Atlanta in 2 weeks to hopefully bring home our 5-year accreditation. Looking forward to attaining the gold standard when it comes to the zoos and the aquariums nationwide. And gifts such as this from the Honolulu Zoo is absolutely a big plus when it shows local support to our national partners on the mainland. I wanted to say that the trip to Indonesia is actually going to be a award that was a study for the Komodo dragon. So we're excited about that and just the elevation. This is how we attract more, the best of the best in terms of zookeepers and the people that come to work for us here in Honolulu. And of course, I know that Councilmember Kia Aina is very excited about the trackless train. And it's just going to be a piece of the added value that we're going to be able, so when you come to the zoo, there's lots to do, especially for the younger keiki. So I think that's going to be a very special piece and something, what's new in the zoo. And then lastly, the gharials, just in case if you need to know exactly, that's an alligator. That's the long-nosed alligator that you see slightly submerged and can be quite frightening, by the way. So we want to make sure that we continue all the services that we need to do to keep our animals safe and give the best care. So mahalo to Mary Benson and the Honolulu Zoo Society.
Members, any questions for the testifier? All right. We'll now proceed with in-person oral testimony in the council chamber on the agenda items 5, 7, and 8. Clerks, do we have any in-person testifiers?
Chair, there are none.
Okay, I don't see anybody on remotely also. All right, members, we are in discussion. Councilmember Tupola.
Yeah, I just want to congratulate DES on all their success. I know that Director Holyfield has just been beating it down. I mean, golf courses getting better, the zoo getting better, and a lot of different marketing opportunities that she's, bifurcating so that we can still always concern ourselves or increase the income that we have at these money-making venues that the city owns. So congratulations to her and, of course, to her staff.
Anyone else? Okay. All right, the chair recommends that Resolution 2641 be reported out for adoption. Any discussion, objections, reservations? Hearing none, so ordered. All right, the chair recommends the resolution 2648 be reported out for adoption. Any discussion, objections, any reservations? Hearing none, so ordered. And on item number 8, the chair recommends that resolution 2649 be reported out for adoption. Any discussion, objections, reservations? Hearing none, so ordered. All right, moving on to our last agenda item, number 9. It's an informational briefing update by the Economic Revitalization Commission on its 2025 annual report and priorities for 2026. Joining us in the council is Executive Director Amy Alsaby for the Office of Economic Revitalization, who will be providing a brief presentation. For your information, and presentation is available online as the Mayor's Message Communication 21-2026. Executive Director Amy Alsaby.
Thank you, Chair Tulba, members of the Public Safety and Economy Committee. My name is Amy Asselby. I'm the Executive Director of the Office of Economic Revitalization. And today, our Commission Chair and Vice Chair, Eliza Talbot, the Chair, and Vice Chair Olin Lagan will be providing an update for you on the work of the Economic Revitalization Commission. Thank you.
Aloha, everyone. Eliza Talbot, current chair of the Economic Revitalization Commission. Thanks so much for having us today. And I'm joined by Olin Lagan, who is the current vice chair. So we're really excited to be here today and present to you guys what we've done in 2025 and what we plan to do in 2026. Just really quick, this will be our last strategic annual plan presentation to you guys because we will have the 5-year strategic plan implementation and we'll be reporting on that going forward. Just wanted to remind you all that we have an amazing group of commissioners. They are all volunteers and really accomplished, talented people that are really dedicated to this. And they serve in the areas of sustainable economics, community development, small business, and finance. And they are just so dedicated, always showing up to meetings, always participating. And so we're really lucky to be a part of it. And I'm going to turn it over to Olin, and I think he has some fun stories to share with you guys too.
Aloha nui kākou, Chair Tulba and council members. So you should have gotten our report in your email. And so hopefully if you read it, if not, I'll give you guys the highlights for today. So in 2025, our focus was on agriculture and food systems. So we did a lot of site visits and did some things that were different. And so one of the things we did was we went out to visit different areas. So we went to Metro Grow to look at how farming can be done in the city center. We also went out to Kako'oiwi and did a visit out there to look at circular economy and how housing, for example, can come out for farmers. And we worked on city development and food access programs. You know, one quick story on Kako'oiwi. When we were there, we learned that these lo'i are super important to hold water during flooding events. And as you guys know, about a month ago, there was a pretty major event. And I saw some stories and videos in Kaneohe that was just horrifying. So in the middle of this, I went to the lo'i to see what Kako'o was doing about it. And I saw the waters were swollen, but it wasn't overflowing. It looked like it could even handle like a double event from that. Then I went a week later, and it looked like the water wasn't even there. And so these systems can really prevent a lot of flooding events. So I saw that with my own eyes, and I welcome you guys to come on work days at Kako'o. So our 3-year goal, our goals for year 3 were about impact, supporting local entrepreneurs, and advocacy. So on the impact, we really looked at how could we find ways for local companies to procure contracts with the city government. And we first started by looking outside, like what other cities have done. We looked in Texas. There are a bunch of cities in Texas, a bunch of cities in California that have local preferences at the city level. One that I looked at was really interesting. In San Antonio in Texas, after they implemented their change, their contracts to small businesses, minority-owned, women-owned businesses, went from 12% to 46%. So it was a massive jump as a result of these 10% premiums that they were giving to some of the local companies. And so we put that in our report as well too. We're continuing our work here with the state. As you guys probably know, the state has a preference for local CPAs. So there's precedent now here too. So if you're a local CPA, you get a little benefit to compete against continental CPAs. We're hoping to expand that to local companies. On supporting local entrepreneurs, we launched our Idea to Biz pilot on the west side. And I really recommend you guys come out to some of the events that we have for the next cohort. So I went to the graduation, and these are entrepreneurs that just have ideas. They have nowhere to go. There isn't another cohort that they can join if they just have an idea and they want to start something. So this is the city wrapping services around that, connecting them with other providers that can give them services from legal to marketing to IT support. And as a result of this, we already have some pretty significant results. So 3 of the entrepreneurs that started with just their ideas have actually launched their companies and have gotten over $300,000 in loans from local financial institutions. So it's happening, and we want to see more of this. So the next one will probably be in the Kaneohe area. So these will all be local residents. We're going to recruit for entrepreneurs with ideas and then wrap them with services and support them. Under advocacy, I talked a little bit about the local preference for procurement. We also are looking at maybe getting more help from you guys on finding ways for vacant city lands to be rented out. And so there's some bills that have been coming forward, and we're continuing to support that as well. Now, I'll pass it back to Eliza.
Thanks. So we felt like it was very timely to address the recent city auditor's report and as it pertains to the commission. And so we wanted to identify that it does call for us to create a department-specific 5-year strategic plan. When we started with the commission a few years ago, we sat down and we all read a ton of different economic plans and analyses to try to understand the state of affairs in Honolulu County. And we came to the conclusion that the CEDS would be a really good guide for us. And so if you're not familiar, it is the Comprehensive Economic Development Strategy. There's one for the state of Hawaii, and then there's one for each island as well. So we adopted the Oahu specific plan. And in doing that, you know, that plan is fundamentally guided by Native Hawaiian values. And so we felt like that was really important. And so I just wanted to also add that it was especially relevant to us because there is no entity that currently tracks our progress on the CEDS plan. And so we felt like that was a good role for us, was to kind of try to usher that in. Choose the next one. Is that the right one? Yeah, okay. And then in the auditor's report, you know, in line with that, we are trying to refine our strategic plan. So we are creating the 5-year strategic plan based on the CEDS. And it is focused on a lot of the objectives, the 5-year objectives that were in the CEDS, which include inclusive communities and shared values, affordability, community-centered leadership, balanced land use, quality education and careers, and resiliency and a diversified economy. So we are focused on those things as we go forward and complete that strategic plan. In 2026, thank you, we'll also be focused on AI. That is something that we've identified as a big priority for all of us and for our local businesses. So we'll be focused on how local businesses can take advantage of opportunities, but also what are the risks. We'll also be looking at how government, specifically the city, can be more efficient with AI and help the business community more. And we'll also be looking at how we can help support things like workforce development, innovation, regenerative tourism, agriculture, and small business and finance. Obviously, it's not going away anytime soon, and we happen to have Olin, who is our resident expert, so we'll be deferring to him, but also we'll have a big panel of experts coming in and just kind of sharing their knowledge with us so we can better understand how to advise OER going forward on that issue. And so that's what I have on the auditor's report. I'm gonna pass it back to Olin for the closing part.
Right, so this is where we ask you for some more help. And so these are the 3 things that we're asking for support around. So support around OER's budget, paving the way for more development opportunities, and city funds for our loan fund. No, that concludes our presentation, Chair.
All right, members, we have any questions for our testifiers? Okay, Councilmember Ki'aina.
Thank you for, reminding us about these measures. Can you just succinctly summarize Bill 35, 2025 and Bill 10, 2026? What's the difference and what is the status? And, you know, I heard it talked about several months ago or maybe a year or two ago, but I haven't heard a peep. So as you're trying to advocate for this, I think you guys need to communicate with either the committees of jurisdiction or the leadership or individual members, because I just need a refresher course. Can you summarize these two bills?
So my understanding, Councilmember, is that Bill 35 is specific to Chinatown. Bill 10 is for the entire county. Is that correct? Oh, the other way, I'm sorry, reversed. And so we've been focused on it because we feel like it's really important to try to increase opportunities for economic development within the city. And a lot of these lands are just sitting unused or attracting.
Yeah, we understand that,
Yeah.
but walk me through this bill. So what are you trying to, which one is the one for Chinatown?
10, sorry.
Bill 10, so tell me about then for Bill 35. Tell me about it.
So essentially, the thought is right now, the way that the city has to go through this process, it's very cumbersome and it makes it difficult to actually utilize a lot of the lands the city has. And that's why a lot of them are vacant and not being used. And so this would give the city the opportunity to negotiate leases with nonprofits, organizations that want to do economic development, community development, things like that. And so we could get more opportunity, but a lot of these nonprofits, they can't lease land at the market rate. So they need to have it at a lower rate so that it's possible for them to do something.
Okay, and is the current authorities insufficient?
Is the current authority of...
The legal authorities currently on the books, are they insufficient? I'm just trying to understand what this bill is about.
Yeah, we think so. I know Department of Land Management is also working on another initiative that's related to this to try to kind of tackle it as well. But we think that it's really important in order to facilitate the leasing because there's a lot of red tape.
No, I understand that, but I'm just asking basic questions. And so who crafted this bill? What agency crafted this bill? Did you guys craft this bill?
No.
Who
No, we
crafted it?
DHLM.
And did they do it in concert with all of the agencies that they have listed here? You see the Enterprise Services, you have the Director of Parks and Services, you have the Managing Director's Office?
That's my understanding, yes.
Okay, because I was just double checking and that was not, I was told that was not the case. So anyway, all I'm just saying is that if you guys are advocating for this, I think it would be important, it's not even on my radar.
Okay, well, we need to do a better job of advocating that and making sure you know. Yeah.
Because I think we all want to see economic development and, of course, housing opportunities.
Yeah.
And as a critic of the city's community-based development programs, that's funded out of HUD, economic development is part of that portfolio. I know the OER leadership knows that. And we just recently did not approve their plan for all of the use of the funds because I've been a critic that they have not done a good enough job in endeavoring to ensure that nonprofit organizations get a sliver of that fund. So I know that this is for land, but equally important, I think, for you all is the city's opportunities, grants and aid, as well as CDBG, where nonprofits that perhaps deal with economic development can avail themselves of those grant opportunities to help with economic development.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. Councilmember Tupola.
Thank you. Thank you both for presenting today. Just as a personal, I think you are both very impressive. Impressive professionals, active in the communities. Thank you for all that you do outside of what you do for the commission. So I think along some of those same lines, I do think that when I look at the actual charter and one of the things that it says, and thank you for saying that you guys are going to work on a strategic plan, because I think that's really where I think we could have a little bit more of a pointed spear of where we're going, because it does kind of seem ambiguous at times. And before I say that, let me also make another comment that very rarely do commission members in the city come and present to us like this. So thank you. I mean, we don't have the Parks Commission guys over here telling us stuff. We don't have Planning Commission walk inside this room. So it means that you guys are very involved. So as commission members, as volunteers, thank you. And so the second thing that it says, after it says long-term economic revitalization strategy, is it says to coordinate economic development across city departments. And that means working with departments, state agencies, private sector. And so I guess one of the things that I'm seeing that you guys are doing is you guys are definitely moving in like nonprofit and private spheres, but there's so much leverage in everything we're doing here with the government that I think you guys are just not actually at the core of where all the weight can be when you leverage properties or funding, like kind of similar to what she's saying. We have CGBD funds. We do have vacant properties that we discuss in like our CIP budget, but some of it has to do with infrastructure. I've been talking about recently doing like a CFD, which we don't even have on this island. It's only on Big Island, it's on Maui, but it's helping developers that might need money for infrastructure. So I'm just bringing that up because I think that there's like a huge component that's missing of like how OER or even you guys are interacting with all of us. Because I think that each of us has some type of economic development that we're working on in our communities, but I don't really see it folded in here. And like, you know, you guys mentioned like, oh, we wish you guys could come. Like, I don't really feel like we're really working with you guys at all. Like we would love to be, but I've never had a chance to kind of share like what my priorities are with you guys, or we've never been asked like, oh, how do your priorities align with what we're doing for OER? Or how could we help? Like, indefinitely, you're helping in our communities. So we're not unaware of that. I'm very aware of that. Thank you for the entrepreneur hub or cohort that you ran in White, and I thank you. However, I think there are bigger pieces that I'm moving that I would love to share that could have like 10 times, tenfold the impact of what you guys are doing, but we've never all talked. Like we've never said, oh yeah, let's like move this together. I mean, some of the initiatives I'm working on in my community are with, I don't know, anywhere from 30 to 50 different organizations. It's huge, the amount of people that I'm gathering and making pieces move. And so I just think that in whatever strategic plan you guys write, you guys need to somehow put in there how OER is going to work with other departments, state agencies, and private sector, and not peripherally, like directly. Because we're the ones that are making zoning changes and like we're talking about parcels of land and what's up for sale and is the state gonna buy this and we're gonna do that. Like get in the mix with us, like get inside of it, because I think you guys would see that even this request paved the way for development opportunities and vacant city properties. I can walk you through every single vacant property in my district. I can tell you exactly what's happening with it. I can tell you which pieces we can move, which ones we can't, which ones clean water, natural land could move, which ones this money could move. So like, let's just get more specific. So if our goal, right, is to develop opportunities in vacant city properties, then to what end? So if we want to develop the vacant property, to what end is our goal? To have a nonprofit there, to have housing there, to deter homelessness, to decrease crime? Because there would have to be a reason why we're making these vacant lands now all of a sudden usable. And then also like the community would have to buy into that too, right? Like, what do we think about this vacant land? Oh yeah, it's terrible. It's like destroying our neighborhood. Okay, then what can all of us do together if we've identified that that's not helpful to our community? How do we make this helpful, you know? So all of that to be said, I know I'm being very specific, but I wish the best for you guys. Literally, you guys have a bunch of brainiacs on your commission. Geniuses. I mean, guys, Olin is a genius. Did you know he started crowdfunding, like, period, like in the world? I mean, I'm just saying, you guys have the kind of brain capacity that we all wish we had. So, like, I think work with us on some of this stuff, because I do think that it could help push these initiatives forward in a more significant way. Thanks, Chair.
Awesome. Councilmember Okimoto.
Thank you, Chair. Aloha, good afternoon, and thank you very much for the presentation. And this probably will be along the same lines, and I'm not sure if it's for you guys or for the director. First of all, I want to echo that my appreciation for you guys as voluntary commissioners. I just had a question, and it's on the same slide for the vacant city land, because I was wondering how this, one of my, I shouldn't say concern, but focuses is how we can be more efficient in government. So when I hear that this is the same thing that I know that you mentioned DHLM is also doing, I'm trying to figure out what is different between what you're doing and what DHLM is doing in identifying the vacant city lands, and as Councilmember Tupola mentioned, are we working with the other departments? If so, what are the things that are working well, but also are we working inefficiently? Are you guys working together or kind of parallel and not really intersecting? And what's the purpose of that? Like, if you guys are looking for vacant city lands, what are they doing? From my understanding, that's what DHLM has been doing, and that's part of their focus as well.
Yeah, my understanding is their focus has been on primarily housing. So we're more focused on the economic development, community benefit side of it. My understanding is that this Bill 35, has been kind of delayed in the process at the council level. But we'd love to see it move forward because I think it should be an integrated approach between every department in the city, the council, and us. Because to Councilmember Topola's point, there are a lot of lands, and we do have to identify what to use them for. But in my mind, one of the things that I see is we have all this vacant land in Kapolei. I just know Kapolei better than most of the other districts, but there is space to do things like have entrepreneur centers and have placemaking centers and micro-manufacturing centers and things like that to encourage our entrepreneurs. But instead, we have land that's just sitting there, attracting, nuisances and things like that, problems. And so I think that's kind of where we come at it from, is that we feel like it's a city resource that we can use for economic development.
Okay, and does the department know that? I mean, prior to the merge, it was Department of Land Management, so not just for housing properties, but any city land management, and then we had housing. Now we've combined them. Do they realize that you're taking on property, or looking at properties that are only for, I guess, commercial or economic development versus housing, or are they under the assumption that they're continuing to do that under any city property, managing the land property, the city lands that we have at our resources, and you guys are doing that as well? What's the communication there?
Yeah, thank you for the question. So yes, I know I've met with Kat Tashner at DHLM personally about this issue, and I know Amy has met, and her team has met with them several times as well. So we have been in communication and trying to align for sure.
So you guys are, both of you, looking at the same things then at the same time, but communicating?
Yeah, I mean, I that's my understanding. I think we're all on the same page. I think what we need to do, it sounds like, is work closer with all of you. And make sure our goals align with each of yours in your districts.
Okay, yeah, I think that's definitely a focus of mine on what we can do for us. And I appreciate you guys, again, coming here and communicating with us. It is really, it's a positive when we can interact with you guys, but also how we can make our city government as efficient as possible versus the opposite. So thank you very much. Thank you, Chair.
Councilmember White, you got a question?
Couple. First, I just wanted to make sure, because I know that Bill 35 made it out of budget and then it is waiting in Executive Management Committee. Was that version, the one that came out of budget, the one that everyone was comfortable with on the department side or the commission side?
Oh, she's telling me there's a CD2. Sorry, I don't track it as closely as maybe Amy does, but there's a CD2, yeah.
Because I know I'm not a voting member, but definitely just wanted to ask, so since we're having the conversation, so we know like if more discussion needs to happen or if that's the mechanism and vehicle that folks can move along. And then, yeah, just wanted to say mahalo, honestly, for all the work you're doing, because it really is such an amazing value add to the community across the entire island. I mean, you're doing great, amazing, work to support agriculture. I think we're all excited about the growth of the farmers markets at our rail stations. I mean, I thought that was super awesome to see all the aunties coming off the station, and all excited about everything out there. And of course, looking for ways to uplift our small businesses in a way that's also respectful, mindful of our local culture and community. And so really just wanted to say that. So thank you for all you're doing.
Thank you. A couple weeks ago on You Hero Report, it talked about opportunities and the reason why a lot of our middle class and college students are leaving Hawaii. So, a lot of times it puzzles me that we cannot work better with the state. So we know that 33% of high school students are flunking. You know, when you see programs like the Explorer program, you guys are sitting through that, they try to do that outreach. For me, it's like, have you guys ever tried reaching out to the DOE because, I mean, we gotta go help those 33%, because if not, they become a problem in the city for the next 20 years in our prisons. And this is all cool. I love everything that you guys presented, but like, you know, what are things you guys are doing to like engage with the DOE and how we can help the kids in our city that goes to school in the DOE, that can help them think about, you know, what's next instead of just dropping out.
I love that question. So I co-founded Purple Maya, and that's all we do. We're in the most underserved communities trying to help our keiki get job ready. But here at OER, we have done things like Good Jobs Hawaii, like working not with the DOE, but with the University of Hawaii to find ways where they can get paid, but also learn skills that are gonna be around for the next 10, 20 years. And so that's one thing. So yeah, that's really near and dear. And I also think like these small seeds that we plant, you don't always see it. But you know, I keep coming back to mahalo, you guys. 20 years ago, I wrote the first grant for Hawaiian Council, you know, CNHA back then, where you guys gave us our first grant to start our first social venture. But look at them now, it's $100 million worth. There's no personal gain for anyone. This is all jobs being created from the community, and that really did start here. So we're also planting some of those seeds, but I totally agree with you that is my biggest concern, and that's kind of why we're gonna focus on AI a little bit this year, is that AI has the potential to make it really rough for our kids over the next 10 years, and we got to get out in front of it.
Councilmember Tupola.
For the director, when the time's appropriate.
I think it's appropriate.
Oh, yeah. Director Asabi, please. Hi, Director, I think, you know, some of these questions are probably for you. I appreciate the commissioners, but these are like agency-related questions. So back to what both Councilmember Kiaina and Okimoto brought up, how are you working with the other agencies in regards to this first vacant city property list for requests?
Thanks. So Bill 35 was drafted by the Department of Housing and Land Management. And because, well, DLM at the time, and it has since become the Department of Housing and Land Management. So we worked with the then director at the time. It took quite a while to redraft the Chapter 38 revisions, but there's a small section in there that relates to being able to waive the lease fees for vacant city properties for the purposes of economic development. So all along, the way that Director Tashner had explained to me, like, this is just not their area. They're not working in that area. They don't have program staff. And so they would continue in the way that the bill was drafted to have the overall leasing authority for city properties. But with the draft that is pending, the CD2 for Bill 35, that allows the Office of Economic Revitalization to work with them as a program manager to bring economic development into the conversation as they're working on what do we do with these vacant city properties. Yes, they have the authority. They've been moving, as you've seen with their RFQs, to put that out to developers and develop housing. But right now, we think that the authority to lease at market rate for where our office is focused, which is underserved communities and underserved individuals, really need this tweak to Chapter 38 to allow us to provide these leased properties for below market rate. And right now, that is my understanding, not what's allowed. We've continued conversations also as that bill hasn't moved forward. Bill 10 was introduced to just maybe pilot some projects where we've gone 5 times with DHLM and at least 3 times with the University of Hawaii to look at some of those vacant retail spaces in Chinatown for an innovation space. So we have concepts, we have drafts based on the kind of square footage that's available. And with those bills not moving forward, we've started to explore concessions with DES. And what is the authority that they have or that we could act within under concessions? And would that work where, with the authority we currently have, like, for example, the spaces in Chinatown have remained unleased for decades. And so the concessions idea is one we're exploring right now with the help of the professionals at DES who do that on a regular basis. So I really do believe it is an interdepartmental, citywide effort. But I think what we've heard is that we need this authority from the council to be able to do some of the pilot projects and move forward. But of course, you know, we're working around the edges to see if there's a way that we could pilot something under the existing regulations. And clearly the commission is 100% behind this. This has been in their priority last year and for this year. So they've come, they've testified, they've got outside business interests and others and community interests to testify. But yeah, I think there's a lack of kind of a coordinated push on this right now with you all. And maybe if we can be in better coordination going forward, we could all see the things that you talked about and have better conversations and development of the places that you're looking at in your district, Councilmember Okimoto, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, I mean, two of the things you said I think are positive, which is pivoting to try to see if you can go with concessions and then maybe, you know, trying to come at it a different way with a pilot. Those are probably good steps. I will say the problem that we're having with the vacant lands with DHLM is that we've asked numerous times for a list of them, numerous times. We've had hearing after hearing after hearing of where's the list. We were told that there's data, then we were told there's so much data, then we were told all the data is being migrated together. Don't you worry, the data is going to come together. So we want to do this, but as we have the hearings about all of these vacant properties, we have not seen a list, not one. So if that can be done, which is not our purview, if that can be done, then maybe these conversations with that bill will begin to happen, because I think the concern we've had, not with you guys, but with DHLM, is that as parcels are being chosen, as things are being funded to be used, we don't know how and when and why. We don't know the rhyme or reason. We don't know the equation. So if we're not totally aware and random things in our districts are going to get chosen for this tall building or this, I mean, I saw two things in my district that I was like, hey, nobody want that. Where'd you guys even get that from? Well, we thought this, that, like, we're asking for a collaborative approach. So if there is a list that manifests itself somewhere in the universe of all the vacant city properties, I think we're a green light. I think we can move forward with whatever we need to do. Secondarily, I do think that as the director of the department, like, having one or two parcels, not many, not all, chosen that you want to try to pursue, just do one. Because, like, we've done a couple in my district with just right of entry, okay? Nobody's paying any leases, but people definitely on city land for free. And if that's the case, there are certain parcels like, okay, we want right of entry to this until we figure out this lease. Just choose one and let's see if we can get it to puka through and make it happen. Because obviously nobody wants these city parcels sitting, but I do think we're trying to, like, swallow the elephant. Like, let's change the law and then make this thing work. I think eventually it could get there. But if you can maybe identify one or two, work with us on that while we wait for this list to be birthed from somebody, we would love that.
Thank you. And that's the direction we've been going. We have a fellow from funds from the Economic Development Administration who's focused on this. And he has been working very closely now with Dos Santos TAM office, looking at the retail spaces in Chinatown. Again, decades empty. We all could recite, you know, some of the challenges in Chinatown. It's been something that the mayor has identified as a priority. So, and that the University of Hawaii has identified to us and proposed earmarks to get an innovation space going there, to get advanced manufacturing as related to the maritime industry, or whatever. Really, there needs to be that community engagement that you talked about. So we're excited. We, you know, in this line of work, you have to have a couple balls that you're pushing forward. And so, yes, while the commission is focusing on the advocacy and the authority that we would need for this long-term work, we do believe that the way forward in the short term is finding a pilot, demonstrating efficacy of what we're trying to do, and then being able to chat with you when we can identify properties. what does it look like in each, council district, and what are you interested in, the community interested in seeing in those spaces?
Looking forward to it. Thank you, Chair.
All right. Okay, we'll move on to oral testimony, and then there's anybody in the chamber?
Chair, there are none.
How about online?
Chair, there are none.
Okay. Awesome. Members, we are in discussion. Okay. There being no further business, this meeting is done. Thank you.